Hey, it's your favorite poet, Dee and Chris, and today we're going to be knitting a scarf, Valentine's Day edition. I know you're probably confused, like, what is this girl talking about? Knit a poem? You can't knit a poem. Knitting is crafts, poems are writing words. Huh? Listen, I'm just an English professor. I don't make the rules. A handmade scarf is the perfect gift to give on Valentine's Day. It's cheap, easy to make in less than a day, and heartfelt. It also beats that tacky crap at the store. Anyways, a scarf, excellent gift. But what good is a gift without a card? That's where the poem comes in. You picking up what I'm putting down? Knit the scarf, buy the card, put the poem in the card. That way it won't just be a boring card or a sign such and such. The card will actually have meaning. But for those of you who don't know how to knit and are freaking out, chill. I'll be giving you step-by-step instructions throughout the video and then sharing my scarf and poem at the end. Remember to keep in mind that you should be actively thinking about your special person while you're knitting. That way when the words come to you, you can just write them down for your poem. Now let's get started. All you need is one ball of yarn from Michaels, a pair of knitting needles. I use size 13 9mm, but please use whatever is comfortable for you. Lastly, you'll need something to write with. I'll be using my Alpha Smart because I'm obsessed, but feel free to use a pencil and paper. Okay, step 1, cast on our stitches. Okay, so this is the easiest way to cast on in my opinion. So take the tail of your string, it should be dangling on the right, and wrap it around your palm. Then tuck the piece behind your hand and pull it through, and that should produce a slip knot. Pull the dangling tail tight enough so that your knot fits on your needle. So it should look like this. Then you're gonna make an L with your fingers and put the dangling piece behind your thumb, and then the other piece connected to the ball of yarn should go around your index finger. This next part's kind of tricky, so replay it as many times as you need, but essentially you want to take the needle and push it under the string nearest your thumb, and then go over and pull it under the index finger string before coming down back through the thumb, and then pull it tight. You should have 2 knots on your needle now. Okay, so then we're gonna do the same exact thing, put the needle under the thumb, around the index finger string, and then back under the thumb. Knitting is all about repetition, so we're gonna do the same exact motion until we cast on a total of 11 stitches. Now, depending on the size you're going for, you might wanna cast on more stitches. I just do 11 because it's the easiest, and if you make it long enough, you can wrap it around several times, but do whatever works for you. And honestly, casting off is very similar, but we'll save that until the very end, so don't panic. Okay, so now that we have our 11 stitches cast on, we can officially begin knitting. And spoiler alert, it's easy. This is where you pick up your other knitting needle, stab it behind the first stitch, move your tail piece of string out the way. We don't need that till the end. Grab the string connected to your ball of yarn, wrap it counterclockwise around your knitting needle. Push your knitting needle down. The needle should go under the hole and then behind and over the other needle. Let's do it again. Stab in front, wrap the string around counterclockwise, push it down, pull it up. This is what it looks like up close. Stab behind, wrap around counterclockwise, push it down through the hole, and then pull it up. Stab, wrap around counterclockwise, push it down through that hole, and then pull it up. Okay, so about this poem, I have a confession. I hate love poems. Ironically, right? So I've never liked them. I've read them, thought they were cringe. There's only one, and I read this in grad school. There was one really amazing love poem where the author didn't even mention love once, and he just described everything like about love. And so it kind of hit, instead of just like, oh yeah, roses are red, violets are, it's like it's not on the nose. And I find a lot of love poems are on the nose, which I'm not into, and I hate writing love poems. I think I've written 1 or 2, but to me those are like my worst poems. I can't get it right. It just feels cringe, very on the nose, so I try to steer clear from love poems. However, I think now, in the spirit of Valentine's Day and a loved one, right, it's the perfect time to try a love poem and just like let things go, like not thinking too much about the composition of it or the technicality of the poem. So for me, just thinking of that person and writing the thoughts that come to mind. So this isn't just an exercise for you guys, it's an exercise for me too. Some suggestions while you're writing would be how the person makes you feel, who you feel like when you're with them, what you feel like when you're with them, how they make you smile, any insider jokes, where you guys met, maybe even something silly like what animal they remind you of. You can even use their jobs as reference. That's an easy one. So if they sail boats, then maybe you're sailing for love. Or if they fly, or like a pilot or a flight attendant, then you're flying to new destinations together, looking forward to traveling the world. Like draw on inspiration like that. Maybe like a strong lion because they protect you, or a bull because they're very headstrong. But okay, so diving into my poem, as you guys know, I've been in this nature poem frenzy as of late, and you guys have even voted on the like community posts for more nature poems. Lions don't have teeth, isolated colony. I like am obsessed with nature right now, which is why I sort of set my poem in the forest, in a clearing somewhere, like an enchanted forest came to mind. And I kind of just conjured all things abstract that reminded me of my person, which was pretty fun to do. So similar to the poet who wrote the only love poem that I've ever liked, I did not want to use love in this poem at all. I just wanted to focus on the feeling. So without further ado, here is my love poem titled Never Turn the Page, dedicated to my special someone. To watch you is to never blink, content stowed away in the shadows for a peek at perfection. Blueberries enchant the forest in retaliation of the day you ran away from home. Sun-kissed skin accidentally scorched by some stubborn thing. To descend into your warmth, eternity will have found its mortality. You tickled my gums with redundance and wit. The leaves only know you as photosynthesis. You ran from the past to a past much more pleasant. A thorn turned a new leaf over after a daydream. An effect you have on all living things. Wolves call to the moon as you dance around them for more, more, more. This life too short for ordinance. Every breath expands dimensions in your favor. A lustful spirit, yes, I guilty, but if it's a curse to find you in every lifetime, then keep the spell bound by spine. Our storybook, the climax to a valley meant for wetter. Such precious memorabilia to worship comprised of a jewel. May the lustful resurrect from degeneracy on a cord of your governance, or I a slave to devour the tide you pull, enveloped in a fog known to crave no other gentleman callers except you. Now let's cast off. You want to continue knitting like regular for the first and second stitches. So one regular, you know, stab, wrap around, push down, pull up. So now you have two. Pause. Once you have two on your other needle, you want to take the first stitch and pull it over the second stitch. You can use your fingers to make it a little easier, like that. Then you want to pull it tight, then start the next stitch, stab, wrap around, push down, pull up, take the first stitch, pull it over the second stitch. We want to continue doing this until we're left with only one stitch. Once we're down to our final two, you want to slide the last stitch over, and then you should have what looks like a single knot. Now you need a pair of scissors to cut the tail, connect it to the ball of yarn. All you do is take the leftover string and pull it through the hole and pull it tight. Then you have one of two options. You can sew strings at the end, like little frillies, which I like to do, or you can sew it through with a needle diagonal to hide it, maybe cut it. In any case, you're done. You've just completed your Valentine's Day scarf gift and poem. Comment down below what color your scarf is, and if you're feeling comfortable, share your poem. I'd love to read it. Remember to like this video and subscribe for more knitting and poetry. Bye.